Hi dear friends, today we are going to talk about GMAT Sentence Correction and we'll test one of the points, one of the important topics of sentence correction: number, numbers, amount, and the usage of proper collocations and idioms. So the general concept is that number is used with countable nouns and amount is used with uncountable nouns. The number of people, the amount of information. Yeah, in some spoken terms we can see the difference, but generally according to grammar this is the general rule. But we also need to know about the difference between a number and the number. So a number of people plus plural verbs. For example, when we refer to a number of people, we actually refer to a group of people. That's why we use plural verbs. A number of people are happy. But when we refer to the word the number of people, we refer it as a whole. That's why we use singular verbs. The number of people is high, for example. Numbers are used when we refer to two or more elements. For example, we can't say the numbers of men. We can say the number of men. But we can say the numbers of men and women playing golf were equal. Now let's analyze one example question based on the concept of numbers, and the proper usage of the collocation limit. Let's read this. The game of rugby began in the Middle Ages as a day-long free-for-all between neighboring villages without limit of the numbers of players on a side or on the boundaries. Well, here we talk about players, numbers of players. As we know from the concept, we use it the number of players. Before turning to let's say to the analysis of the statement itself, we need to group our answers. So we can see that A and C start with without, B and E start with, and D start with and. It was. Actually, the answer is a bit wordy, so we need to know this because on the GMAT test, the better is the more concise one. So the shorter it is, the better it is. So if we pay attention to, let's start with A and C without the limit of the numbers of play. First of all, numbers is wrong because we see players on the side or on the boundaries. We refer to only players here. There aren't any other, let's say, players. For example, players and let's say soccers, let's say. Or soccer players and football players, let's say. Without the limit of, it's not off, we know that limit is on, quota is on, tariffs on. So when we put something, lift something, ban something, we use on, bans on, limits on, and so on. B answered without we refer to A and C without limitations as to how many verbs. Limitation regarding is weird, and limitation and limit are different. Limit is quota, limitation is restriction. Limit can be on the numbers, limitation is some problem, challenge, difficulty. So C is wrong. D, we get D, E, B. So let's look at D, and it was without a limit on the number of players on a side or on boundaries. Very long, the usage of and the creation of the sentence and it was, because actually we can use with structure or without structure. We don't need a sentence here. That's why D is wordy. We have B and E remaining with no limit. We can see limit. Here is limits. Limits on numbers. Why do we need limits? We actually have one limit on the number of players. On the number of players on the side and with no boundaries. And if you pay attention, you may say that, but E is shorter. It should be better. But pay attention. Players or boundaries. How can we compare players with boundaries? Yeah, are they comparable, players and boundaries? No. Players on a site and with no boundaries. Here, the logical understanding, diction in the sentence is tested. That's why E is wrong, and because of the word numbers as well, so we choose B as the correct answer. Hope that it is clear, and thank you for watching this video about GMAT. Thank you, see you, bye.